Chapter 15.
Politics of sectionalism.
How did slavery affect politics in the U.S. from 1846 to 1861?
In a country far, far away from Europe,
America.
slavery had a major effect on the United States politics through tensions between political parties, acts and laws passed pertaining to slavery, and elections. From the 1840s until 1861, Northern and Southern politicians had much debate about slavery. Four proposals included the outright exclusion of slavery, extension of the Missouri Compromise, popular sovereignty within the territory states, and protection of property of slaveholders. In August 1846, David Wilmot, a Pennsylvania Democrat, offered the Wilmot Proviso. This proviso required that no slaves were to be allowed in the territory gained from the Mexican War. The proviso had much upsetting Southerners, but it gained a lot of support from the Northerners. In the election of 1848, the Democrats nominated Lewis Cass as a nominee. He suggested that the new territorial states have popular sovereignty to decide about slavery. However, the Whigs elected General Zachary Taylor. His beliefs created the Free Soil Party and divided the Whig Party. In 1848, gold was discovered in California. This brought many people, 80,000 to be specific, into the new territory. These newcomers were called 49ers. They included both slaves and free blacks. However, with slaves coming into the new territory, people were upset, and the Compromise of 1850 was required. In 1850, Henry Clay came up with the idea for the Compromise of 1850. The terms were this: California was a free state. New Mexico and Utah could decide about the slavery issue or popular sovereignty. The slave trade was ended in Washington, D.C., and the Fugitive Slave Act was enacted, which reinforced the right to seize and return slaves to the In the early 1850s, the Black Northerners felt threatened by the Fugitive Slave Act. So, the National Black Convention was held in Rochester, New York, 1853 in July. This established a Black council to discuss political and civil rights, and it also defended their rights and increased Black resistance in the South. Also, another abolitionist act was Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet B. Stowe. She wrote because she believed that she could have a Southern family impact. 1852, at the start of the new election, the Democratic and Whig parties were divided. The Democratic Party split up into the Northern and Southern groups. However, Young America, a mostly Democratic group that advocated extending American influence into Central and South America and the Caribbean, were dominant during this time. Thus, Franklin Pierce aspired to be president and won by a landslide. He took office in March 1853. When he became president, foreign affairs greatly established much of America, including the Ostendo Manifesto, a composed document of Cuba.
Douglas's Kansas-Nebraska Act.
It's a bill!
Anyways,
America.
Douglas's Kansas-Nebraska bill split the Nebraska Territory into two territories, Kansas and Nebraska, which the implicit understanding that Kansas would become a slave state and Nebraska a free state. Consistent with Douglas's belief in popular sovereignty, it left the actual decision on slavery to the residents of the territories. But because it allowed Southerners to bring slaves into an area formerly closed to slavery, it repealed the Missouri Compromise.
As seen in these reforms, slavery was an absolute direct cause of the change and rise in tension in politics. It is clear that these erupted tensions caused the nation to divide.
Division. During the period of 1846 to 1861, slavery had a major impact on the politics of the time. It often brought disunity and tension. This created a need for certain acts, such as the Nebraska-Kansas Act. Slavery was at fault for the nation's division.
Work it, girl!
It's recording.
Oh my